Former insurrectionists from January 6 are now begging and in some cases even threatening federal judges because they think that might help them get to go to the inauguration. They're obviously very excited to see Donald Trump get inaugurated. And they have a lot to be excited about recently. Trump has said repeatedly that he's going to pardon them, and that's all well and good for their legal future. But apparently, some Republican representatives are now inviting them to the inauguration, and so they're saying, "You got to let me go. You got to let me show up." So one is William Alexander Pope. So he filed a motion to travel to the inauguration before a Kansas federal judge. Back in 2021, the same court had banned him from traveling to D.C. Because of the attempt to overthrow the election and everything. So he wrote in his latest application, "I now move the court for permission to travel to Washington, D.C. for the purpose of attending the presidential inauguration. Initially, I declined an invitation to attend the inauguration since I don't enjoy being in Washington." Oh, do you have bad associations there? "However, I have now been asked a second time, and I believe it would be inappropriate for me to turn this request down." I love the idea that this former insurrectionist, he doesn't even want to go, but there's just so many Republicans begging him to be there that I guess he has to. His arm is being twisted. Anyway, he was charged with civil disorder, trespassing, disorderly conduct, and picketing at the Capitol. So here is what he has now turned to do. Back in November, he asked a Washington, D.C. judge, Rudolph Contreras, to delay his trial until after the Trump inauguration, warning that, quote, "wielding extreme government force can lead to a dangerous cycle of escalating retribution as control of the government continues changing hands." Which, look, I'm not saying that the only thing that could be is a threat, but it kind of feels like a threat. It feels like, well, if you're not nice to us, maybe next time we do more than just poop on the speaker's desk, am I right? And so that doesn't seem like a great strategy to me. I feel like judges are probably sensitive to you threatening to maybe murder them a little bit. But anyway, he's the fifth or sixth defendant to request this sort of permission. Only one has been successful. And so there will likely be some insurrectionists there, maybe as distinguished guests, Michael, at the inauguration. What do you make of it?
I think one of them might be the new president, and so I don't think you stop insurrecting just because the show is over on January 6th and you've served your time and or haven't. I think that runs through them, and this tactic is clearly and this is clearly something that when people talk about, well, Trump didn't order them to the Capitol, but what he's able to facilitate is remarkable. And I think that this is something that is facilitated. He didn't invent racist Donald Trump, but his policies and his rhetoric allowed racism to have a new day in America and in an outward and extroverted way. So it's the same thing with this insurrection and everything that happened. They didn't really get punished. He's flirted with pardoning all of them when he comes into office. And so what do? They keep doing what it was that got them that notoriety and got them a soapbox at Speaker's Corner. So I think it's not surprising at all. And I hope the judges react in the way that we all hope that they will.
When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?